All right, welcome back to another edition of Nerd Couch Netrunner Complaints.
It's Netrunner week on Nerd Couch.
Netrunner month, if we put
Apparently,
these out
yeah.
So we apparently had a lot more to talk about with Netrunner than we thought we did. So you get more videos.
Oops.
So last time we left off with talking about powerful cards. Should they be made or should they not? Explain your position, and I'll explain why you're wrong.
I think you need to not be afraid of making powerful cards. Do I think you should make something as powerful as Andy? No, because Andy is disruptive. But the reason why we get problems like the Three Amigos, Data Sucker, Jackson Howard, which is something we didn't even mention up until now, but Jackson Howard being run in every deck, so on and so forth. The reason why that happens is because there is no alternative. Once Magic got its banned restricted list out, like once Magic was like, Ancestral Recall, nope. Once that happened, it was fairly certain where they wanted the power level of their game to be. And even when this happened, power creep occurred. And Magic became really good when they embraced that. Because there's nothing you can do to keep the power level of a game down. Because just by random, the Netrunner Skull Clamp might come out, Someone's going to come up with a card that you didn't think was as good as it actually was. And when that happens, the power level of the whole game rises. And so, the way Magic dealt with that, and the way a lot of card games deal with that, is they embrace it. And they go, okay, we are going to make a card that is this powerful. If you already know that there's a card that's this powerful, imagine that there's a scale here that's this powerful, and you make a card that's that powerful, no one will use that card.
Highly scientific.
Highly scientific measurement scale. No one will use that card. The reason being because you have this card. You have the better card. No one is using Torch. No one is using Peacock. No one is using all these other breakers because...
Let's be fair, nobody should ever use Peacock. Ever. Unless you like to lose. If you like to lose, by all means, use Peacock.
Nobody is using those cards because the Three Amigos exist. No one's using even another Code Gate breaker because Gordo exists when Yogg doesn't work. And if you really don't have the splash for Gordo, there's Passport. So that's 3 cards, and there's still all these other breakers that no one's looking at. And that's because they're bad. And there's no real reason to make bad cards in a living card game. Because you don't need filler for your collectible trading card packs. Everyone's getting these cards anyway. So there's no reason to make a bad card. Just make a good card. I was talking to Justin about Ken Tenma, who has the ability, the first time you play a run event each turn, get a credit. Which is good, but 1 extra credit for playing a run event really doesn't make the game the way Andy or Gabe with his 2 credits for running HQ does, or Kate with her discount, or Noise with his mill does, It doesn't make a game. It just gives you a tiny little bonus. The best you could do is play 4 run events, which gives you 4 extra credits just on that turn, and that's not all that great. Because you could plork on, that's a technical term, you could plork on Cotty Jones and then take that off next turn and you've done the same thing. In 2 clicks.
Now here's why I think you're wrong. Mm-hmm. One is again, we're going to utilize the extremely scientific hand level system. This doesn't get played. Mm-hmm. This is too good. Mm-hmm. The sweet spot you think exists, which is, I could totally hit a target in here, is actually only about this big.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very small, not that powerful that it's game breaking, but powerful enough that it gets played region. Mm-hmm. That's a very small region, and as we've seen with certain cards like AstroScript, Pilot Program, with Andy, with all these other cards, that's a hard target to hit. There are honestly some cards I'm like, why the fuck did you ever make this? Like Leviathan. Whoever, it's a bookmark. Why did you do that? But there are other cards that I think will become better as other cards come out.
Sure.
It's a hard target to hit. We were talking the other day about what identities could we invent in other factions that would be as good as Andy, so those factions got played more. Which seemed like a cool thought exercise, and it was. But the problem there stems from the fact that once you create something that's too powerful, it's meta-defining. I think the new Anarch abilities that are Anarch identities that are coming out in Order and Chaos are hitting that sweet spot. They're right about there. But a lot of the other ones are a lot of the other ideas you could have are too powerful. Too powerful is bad. It's going to take 2 years to ban Andy. For it to cycle out. It shouldn't take.
Yeah.
But just to cycle it out, it's going to take 2 years. That's way too fucking long. And then if they create something tomorrow, that's 2 years even from, it's like 4 years or something, or 2 years from now. It's going to take a long time for that to cycle out. And they're not going to want to, it's really clear to me that they don't want to ban cards, and I understand why they don't want to ban cards, but too powerful is the same problem. It's just a new set of problems, and I don't think that's necessarily a good idea either, particularly for identity.
Sure, but let's still look at the cards that are rotating out. So Andy gets rotated out, right? So what's the next best thing that you have? Gabe, right? Gabe gets 2 credits when he runs HQ, right? First time, if I'm correct,
Yeah,
right?
first time.
First time he runs HQ. With sec testing and all the shit that you could do right now, within 2 clicks and 2 cards, you can make 4 credits and see their HQ. As opposed to Ken Tenma, who can only make 1 credit with 1 card, and one click. He just isn't as powerful as Gabe. That's why he's not being run right now. And you still
He's not being run right now because everybody runs Andromeda.
Everybody runs Andromeda, but you still see some stupid people running Gabe and not Ken.
You hear that? He called you stupid.
No, you still see people running Gabe. Like, people still run Gabe because Gabe is also powerful. Like, when Andy goes out, people are just going to start running Gabe again.
Well, that's another problem with the cycling, is that the stuff in the deluxe expansions in the core set is always going to be legal. This is wrong.
And so, like, I'm comparing at this point to the second best thing. Like, Noise is not crashing everybody's game, and Gabe is not crashing everybody's game, and Kate isn't crashing everybody's game, and certainly, like, fucking, no, nobody runs any shape right into the other than Kate. But, like...
What about all those Professor decks?
All those Professor decks, they're great. They're great.
What are we ever going to do about all this Professor
No one's
decks?
going to get this except for really hardcore Netrunner players. But OMG, a Professor double ban now. But ban it so hard that if someone thinks about it, it's a game loss. But seriously though, I'm comparing the strength of cards to the next best thing, not the current best thing. And the cards that are coming out are not as good as the next best thing. And so, yes, I agree. Don't make another Andy, but make good cards. And actually, that's why the Corp is interesting right now, because they are not afraid to make good Corp cards. Lotus Field was a good Corp card. Fucking Enhanced Login Protocol was a great Corp card.
Fucking guy in his Enhanced Login Protocol.
Stuff like Sundew, even though it has problems.
Sundew is better now.
Yeah, it's even better now. Even though it had problems, great Corp card. Just these things that get you tons of credits and tons of clicks and slow down the runner so much and trash programs while costing them 3 clicks and stuff. Like, there's just good things.
And we're complaining a lot right now, but we also recognize that the upcoming Sand cycle is supposed to offer more options to the runner, and we're hoping that's going to lead to more powerful cards. So, we may just look like huge fucking assholes this time next year when Sand cycles come out and Andromeda is a bookmark. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I somehow doubt it, but I'd love to be surprised.
But that's basically what I want. I have all these cool Corp cards I could play with that, by any definition, are great. I look at Lotus Field and I'm like, that's great. I look at, like, even older ones, Wall of Thorns, that's great. Toll Booth, that's great. Architect, shut up. I know you said it was great and I didn't, but it's great.
I keep telling him cards are great. He's like, that's not good. What would I take out of my card deck to put that thing in?
The new Marcus, that's great. Fast Track, great.
You're just going to call every card great now, so I can't call you out on cards being better and you not thinking
Sweeps Week, great. All these cards are great. There's Blue Sun, great. All the Corp cards are great. Every time a new Corp card comes out...
See what he's doing? Do you see what he's doing here?
Every time a new Corp card comes out, the worst that I look at it is, I don't think I'm going to use that. But it's never, that's like pants poopy. Like, that's,
Leviathan. Why Leviathan?
But runner cards come out, and I'm like, why would anyone ever use that for any reason when there are these cards we could use? And that's what I want people to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, here are a lot of fun tips to improve your game. You're probably going to completely ignore us and put out whatever the fuck you want anyway, Lucas Litzinger. But you're a great guy anyway who's making a game we like. So we kind of trust you, sort of, maybe?
We trust you like you're that relative of ours that is really into base jumping. That, like, it's cool. It's what you're into, but try not to smash your head on the rocks. Like, that's what I think this is about, right? Right? You
thought Architect was a bad card.
We're out of time again.
Your mom's out of time.
All right.